So this is Sunday Satsang, March, what's the date?
23.
25?
23.
23. Okay, so we're discussing Bhakti Rasrita Sindhu, which is the science of devotion. We just started. We're on the first chapter. It's called Samanya Bhakti. Does anyone know what the meaning of Samanya means? What's she say? Yeah, it means general. I looked at the meaning of the Sanskrit book. It says, means overview, general principles, universal concepts, fundamental principles. So Samanya means basically it's introduction to Bhakti. But what's the second chapter called? You haven't looked at the book? It's called Sadhana Bhakti. And how many kinds of Sadhana Bhakti are there? Two kinds. Vaidhi, yeah, that's you said two and she said Vaidhi and Raganuga. So we're in the very beginning overview of Bhakti. So we're on verse number 9. It just gives an idea of how the book is broken up. So it starts off with General Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti, then Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. These are the subjects of the Bhakti Rasrita Sindhu. So the book actually begins with verse number 11. You have your book? Yeah, no, don't have a book. You have a book. Have it on your phone.
My phone, I can find.
Yeah, should have it anyway. Verse number 11 is the actual definition of pure bhakti. It's a very complete definition because also in ancient Puranas, bhakti is defined, and Rupa Goswami, he quotes from the Puranas also that verse, but he expanded on the conception and definition from that verse. So let's look at this verse. There's extensive commentaries by Jiva Goswami and Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. She says, Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadyan Abritam Anukuyana Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Translation, this is by Bhanu Swami. He says, the highest bhakti is defined as continuous seva or emotions directed towards Krishna, Krishna's expansions, or others related to him. So bhakti, the definition of bhakti includes seva to Krishna, to Vaishnavas, and to Guru. So that's one aspect. And this seva is done with a pleasing attitude. The attitude, like they often say, it's not what you do, it's how you do what you do that counts. It's like serving prasadam. Someone can serve attentively and carefully and lovingly and individually, or they can serve mindlessly and robotically, mechanically, and without any feeling. So it's the important thing is not only to receive the food, but how it's distributed, so the attitude is very important. Pleasing attitude towards Krishna. Because you'll see in the Krishna Lila, some demons fight with Krishna. And Krishna likes a good fight. So Krishna's enjoying, he's enjoying the seva of a fight. But their attitude is, I want to kill you. The attitude of the demon, the non-devotee, is he wants to kill Krishna. So his fighting of Krishna is enjoying, and he always beats them because he's God. But the mentality and attitude of the servant, that demon, is not pleasing. He's not doing it to please Krishna. He's doing it to kill Krishna. So attitude is very important. That's the analogy that the author mentions, comparing. Because Mother Yashoda is also serving Krishna, but with the right attitude, and Kamsa is also serving Krishna by fighting briefly with Krishna, but wrong attitude. So then it goes on to say, and then the secondary characteristics of bhakti, pure bhakti, uttam bhakti, uttam means highest bhakti, is that it's devoid of desires other than desire to please Krishna, and it's not mixed with materialistic knowledge or knowledge of impersonalism or rituals of karma. So Jiva Goswami describes breaks down these words in Sanskrit and tries to understand, give us deeper understanding. So that's the nature of the commentaries. They're very technical. So I'll try to summarize what he's saying, because it says service is done with the body, mind, and words. And when one gets very pure in heart and very attached to Krishna, then one can serve Krishna with emotions, purified spiritual sentiments, and affection and love. Then he describes, so that's because there's service at the level of sadhana, practice, and there's service at the level of perfection. So the level of perfection means Baba Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. Everyone, Radharani is serving Krishna, and we're also serving Krishna. Is there a difference? So there's some big differences. So that's what the book is trying to help us understand. Different degrees and levels of service and pleasure and happiness offered to Krishna. So he has this word, Krishna Anushilanam. He doesn't, Anushilanam means activities. Shilanam means activities, one after the other. Anu means succession. We do this service, we do some puja, we do some cooking, we do some singing, we do some study, we do some writing. We have different sevas we do. And they go one after the other. You look at the life of a devotee, you go on Prikma, you go take darshan of different places in Braj, then you come home and you eat prasad, and then you sleep. That's also seva. And then you sing some kirtan or sing some bhajans, some songs, read some pastimes and leelas. These are all different services. You go one after the other. Anushila means following one by one. So Jiva Goswami makes a point that the seva of Krishna is only obtainable by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. And seva of Krishna is a transformation of Krishna's Swarup Shakti. What is that Swarup Shakti?
Swarup Samvit,
True Shakti is Bhakti, which is a combination of what? Ladini Shakti, which means the power of love and bliss. And
wisdom.
Samvit means wisdom, knowledge. So when Krishna puts Bhakti in the heart of a conditioned soul, or the Guru puts Bhakti in the heart, then a person gets inspired to serve Krishna with love and affection. So that's why Jiva Goswami makes the point that seva of Krishna is not material, it's spiritual. You look the same, the same stove, the same pots and pans, same vegetables you're cooking. You're not cooking for your husband or wife or for yourself, you're cooking for Krishna. And that mentality behind the action, and the action itself is all transcendental. That's why it's a little mystifying, because people can't understand so much what is the difference between bhakti and karma. Karma means action, just to perform action, and bhakti is also action. But it's all about the mentality, the heart mentality, and the objective of seva. The objective of seva, one is called seva, one is called karma. Seva means activities done for the pleasure of God. And how do we know what pleases God? We know from the Shastra, from the scriptures. We can learn how to please God. So, like when we cook ourselves, we may eat non-vegetarian food. But God, at least Krishna God, there's different gods that eat different things. It's also there. But Krishna, he's a vegetarian. Like once I asked my guru about this, I said, is it sinful for Christians to eat meat? He said, no, it's not. Muslims and Christians eat meat. I asked my guru, is it sinful? He said, no, it's sinful if Hindus eat meat. Because he said in their scriptures, it doesn't say you can't eat meat. So he said that they're following, Christians and Muslims are following their scriptures and are non-vegetarian. So they're not going to hell for that. Although devotees often, use that as a preaching point, but it doesn't have any value. Because their scriptures are also coming from a higher realm, and they're following them faithfully, so that everything will be adjusted. But if someone who adopts the principles of Sanat and Dharma, of the Vedic principles of the Vedas, then he should be vegetarian. He or she should be vegetarian. So there's a very broad understanding of Bhagavan. Religion is very individual. So if you're following religion, you have to follow it. So the devotee, the whole life of the devotee is centered on Krishna, and Krishna is vegetarian, so our cooking is all vegetarian cooking and offered with love and what he likes. We try to cook what he likes, although we're Italian devotees. our Italian Krishna is eating lots of olive oil and cheese and tomatoes and pasta and all that stuff. If we're a Russian devotee, our Krishnas eat all Russian food. I know. So that's, so if you're American, an American Krishna eats American food. But at least it's vegetarian, that's the good part. So Anusila means it's spiritual seva, performed with spiritual mentality for Krishna's happiness. Activities done with the body, mind, and words for the pleasure of Krishna. And Anukuyena means favorable. The seva should be favorable and friendly. It means behavior pleasing for Krishna. So that's behavior is an important aspect of bhakti. Jiva Goswami says, actions directed towards Krishna with concentration may not always be favorable. So the demons, the non-devotees are fighting Krishna. They're very concentrated on Krishna. They're very concentrated on him, but they're not anukulya, they're pratikula. They're against the pleasure and happiness of Krishna because they're trying to destroy him. So he puts this together, anukulya Krishnanushilanam, means continuous seva or emotions directed towards Krishna with a pleasing attitude. This is the essential characteristic of bhakti. So what it means is the mentality should be favorable, the heart should be full of affection, and the body and senses should be doing activities to please Krishna. That's the primary definition of bhakti. And the second thing is, it's called secondary characteristics. Anyabhilasya shunyam. We should be free from any other ideas or desires. And we should not be covered by materialistic knowledge or impersonal viewpoint, impersonal ideas about God. It's like God is energy, God is light, God is force. God is light. It's a very common idea. It's called Brahman. So bhakti should not be mixed with these. These are not devotional concepts. It's called impersonalism. We're worshippers of personality of God. So, like oftentimes the analogy is given, it's given here by Vishnu Chakravarti. Let me ask you a question. Mother Yashoda was breastfeeding baby Krishna, Gopal. And there was some milk in the kitchen boiling on the stove. And she saw, Mother Yashoda saw the milk was about to boil over. So she put Krishna down on a little bed. She took him off her breast. She was feeding milk, breastfeeding him. Put him down on the bed and went to take the milk off the stove, prevent it from boiling over, bubbling over. So Krishna cried. So was that bhakti? Was that pleasing to Krishna? Yes or no?
Yes. I mean, the milk was for Krishna's seva.
Oh, so was her breast milk.
But it was also for butter, to make butter and all these things.
So she neglected Krishna, but her attitude was favorable because she was thinking, I'm giving him breast milk because he's like 3 years old kid, but he also wants butter and sweets and everything like that. So if this milk gets burned, I won't be able to make sweets and all kinds of other things that he likes. So later on, if I keep giving him milk now for my breast, that the milk boils away and gets spoiled, burned, then I can't make butter and ghee and all kinds of good things for him. So then he'll cry more later. He'll cry a little bit now, but he'll cry more later. So you should have measured how's Krishna going to cry more. So the Acharyas say it's still devotion, it's still bhakti, it's still motherly love. So she made a very clever decision. She said, what to do? The milk is boiling. So Krishna will be right back. So, put him down, turn on the milk, came back. And he cried, he got angry and broke a pot and all that. He got angry, he broke a pot, ran away. That's all none of Leela. She changed it. So, he said, Krishna wasn't pleased when Yashoda left him, but still it's bhakti because it was done with a favorable attitude for pleasing Krishna. And then he says, when it says mixture of karma, bhakti should not be mixed with karma and jnana. What does it mean?
Sakam karma yoga niskam.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Sakam Bhakti. Well, one thing, like if we do bhakti, if I do this bhakti, I'll get some benefit from me. If I do bhakti, I'll get benefit from me. I'll get some promotion to a higher planet, or I'll get a better birth. If we do bhakti with a calculative mentality, that I want to get some benefit, some sense gratification. Like if I join this temple, and do good devotion, I'll get recognized. I'll be very serious and get good bhakti, and I'll get recognized. And the temple president will make me temple commander.
Yeah.
Because when I become temple commander, they have the keys to the Mahaprasad. Cabinet. To show me. Get the benefit. That's a simple example, but another idea. Sometimes the mentality is sense enjoyment mixed in with our bhakti. So the idea, Jiva Goswami talks about this directly. He said we should be devoid anya abhilasita. Anya means any other, abhilash means desire. So our devotional service should be free from any desire to get anything other than bhakti. Why are you doing bhakti?
To please Krishna.
To do more bhakti.
Yes.
Like people say, why are you making money?
To make more money.
To make more money. Like Prabhupada once said, he said, if you're going to do bhakti, do bhakti. If you're not going to do bhakti, then make money. So, bhakti is one way to spend your life. Making money and enjoying material world is another way to spend your life. But we find by living a life of bhakti, we also feel happy. So that's another way to go. Bhakti, which aims at achieving bhakti. Why are we doing bhakti? To attain bhav. Why do we practice bhav? To attain prema. So why we do anything in bhakti is to please Krishna and attain his love. And show our love for him by trying to please him. That's what love means. So bhakti, which aims at achieving any other goal than bhakti, is improper. This phrase, anyabhilasita sunyam, means devoid of other desires which are deep-rooted as one's nature. So we have many desires for profit, for recognition, for praise. We want to get praise. Like they have book distribution. Many temples of ISKCON, they sell books. They have competition from one temple to another. And then people get into the idea of getting recognition. They want to go out and sell books like crazy, get recognition, get some prize. They give prizes also. It's a little odd idea, but they do like that. So to just go out and do seva, selling books to please Krishna and Guru, that's okay. But if your motivation is to get personal recognition, that's not really love. That's selfishness. So he describes that, and then he says this karma also includes all kinds of varnashram dharma type of things, doing different yajnas and pujas, worshiping different devatas. But interesting point, he says that if one is a bhakta, he can worship his ancestors. Like when your father dies, your mother dies, in Hindu Dharma, it's called Sanatana Dharma, the son and daughter are supposed to do some puja every year to benefit that departed soul. Even in other Christian religions, they have some functions like this for taking care of people, departed souls. So he says, this particular activity is doesn't diminish one's bhakti. We see Lord Chaitanya himself, he went to Gaya. After his father died, he went to Gaya to do puja for his father. So that wasn't diminishing his bhakti for Krishna. This activity of serving the mother and father to benefit them after they depart from this world is not a covering, it's not avritama bhakti. But to engage in devata puja and other things like this, worshiping Shiva or Durga or Parvati or any other devata or devi for some material purpose, it's a covering of bhakti. This interesting point it's made in the commentary. So that's basically the definition. Then he quotes a verse from Narada Pancharatra, which is where he got the idea for describing pure bhakti. Verse 12. Sarvopati vinirmuktam tadprattvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchate. Narada Muni defines bhakti as seva to Krishna using the senses. It is done with the intention of pleasing Krishna, free of other desires, and unobstructed by other processes. Well, this is a verse for Narada Pancharatra the Rupa Goswami read and expanded upon in the verse I just told you on the Abhidasya Shunya Jnana Karma every time. Okay. I have some notes here. Jiva Goswami has a commentary. Vishnu doesn't say anything different. I have some notes I can read here. It talks about upadi. Upadi is a Sanskrit word, means false designations, something superimposed on something else. For example, we're eternal spiritual beings inside this material body. But if we think that we're not that, we think I'm American, I'm French, I'm German, I'm Russian, I'm man, I'm woman. These are called designations. They don't have any real eternal value or substance. Because this life we may be Russian, next life we may be German or French or anything. But the Atma, the soul, is eternal principle, eternal particle of consciousness. So to identify with anything besides the Atma, the eternality of our true identity is called an upadi, a superimposition. And the analogy is like a crystal looks red if a red object is next to the crystal. Crystal's here, you put a red ball next to the crystal, then the crystal will look red. So the soul is inside this body. So the soul is part of God. Is a particle of God. It doesn't come out of the womb with some stamp on it, some flag, American flag, Swiss flag on your forehead, you know. That comes up later. You got a birth certificate. Oh, you belong to this country. You belong to that country. This is your name. This is your mother and father. They're a reality, but for temper, it's a designation. It's a title. It's a name. So, when one identifies with a material body, we have material desires. And that's also called an upadi. It doesn't belong to the intrinsic nature of the Atma, soul, which is separated from the body. When misidentifying with the material body, it looks like the soul wants this or that. The verse also indicates Niruttam Bhakti. This Niruttam Bhakti, which Rupa Goswami describes as Anyabhidasya Sunyam. He says the root cause of all impurities is cut by practice of bhakti, because bhakti changes the ego, the sense of identity. Now, basically, without spiritual knowledge, one thinks I am the body, I am man, woman, etc. But bhakti transforms the ego, where we identify as a spiritual being, part and parcel of Krishna. I'm a servant of Krishna. That's called Nirmal Upadi. a pure eternal identity designation. So attaining this understanding, this realization, is called self-realization. So we'll stop there for this book, and we'll continue next week more on that.